spread a little aloha around the world at breakfast with Bob.
Thank you, Poncho Man. Welcome back, everybody. Breakfast with Bob, our not quite Kona edition. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Master Spas, As Fuels Go Longer, Hoka Let's Fly, Forum Smart Swim Goggles, DeBoer Wetsuits, Quintana Roo, Zoot, the original triathlon brand, Premium Plus Sports, and of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, a young man who's already done great things in our sport, sixth in the 2016 Olympics, fourth in the 2020 or 2021 Olympics in Japan. Mr. Marten Van Riel joins us. Marten, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Enjoying my off season now. So finally back in Belgium for the Christmas time. So yeah, I'm doing really good.
Very cool. Now, growing up in Belgium, was your first sport swimming?
Yes, so I started with swimming, but I would say not at a very high level, because when I tell people I started with swimming, they expect me to have been like a multiple national championships swimmer or something like that. But I was actually a really bad swimmer when I was younger. Like I don't even know if that still exists, but we actually had local B championships for like the bad swimmers that weren't like A category swimmers. So I had to compete in the B category, and I still was one of the last ones in there. So yeah, I started swimming, but it took a while before that became like my strength.
So when the transition from swimming to triathlon was that, I know that in the where you grew up, you've got a guy named Marc Herremans lived in the town, and I covered him when he was sixth in Kona, and then he was paralyzed that following winter training for the next year. When did you connect with Marc, and was he the one who got you into triathlon?
Yeah, he was the one that, well, without him, I would not have been here. So his nephew was actually one of my best friends, and he was in the swimming club with me.
Yes.
And the nephew, he knew that I was swimming, obviously, and then I was doing like a little bit of running, because my dad is like a duathlete, like he does a lot of local races. So I was doing some running, but really like I would do a race every 2 weeks and no training. And then in the holidays we would go to the Alps or the Pyrenees, and like we would take me and my brother would take our mountain bikes, and we would climb like the big Tour de France goals.
Yeah.
So like I was doing all three sports. That was when I was about 15, but at a very low level. But this friend, he knew it, and just one day at swimming practice, he asked me like, "Yeah, would you be interested to join a team that is led by Marc?" And I only knew him as like, in my town, he's like a legend. Well, anywhere in the triathlon world, he should be a legend. But
Yes.
and yeah, the next day I was sitting in his living room, and I was starstruck. And yeah, that's where it really started. All of a sudden, he became my trainer, so I was getting more serious training. I actually got some material to get started, like a wetsuit, some cycling kit, so I had like good equipment.
Yes.
Yeah, to start my process. So yeah, he was definitely the instigator of all that.
Now, is your town, is it Loenhout?
Yeah, but actually, Mark is from Woestwezel, which is like the next town.
Okay.
Yeah, both are like 5,000 people towns, so it's pretty much the same.
So in Belgium, when you look back, Luc van Lierde winning in 96 and 99, and obviously Freddie winning in 2013, and Bart Arnouts was second there. You've got a great tradition, and obviously Marc is a big part of that. Did you know of you? So you knew of Marc before he started training you?
Yeah. Like, I mean, here everyone knew the
Everybody knows
story
Marc.
of him, like being 16 in Hawaii, having the world at his feet, and then having like the accident, and then especially because after that, like the mindset he kept, the positivity he kept, pushing through, like kept going in the sport. Yeah, there's a movie about him. So in Belgium, he's definitely famous. And here in where we live, he's super famous, I would say. So yeah, I was definitely starstruck when and never expected that he would be the one that got me into triathlon.
So you win Belgium national championship in 2014. And then the 2 years later, you're in Rio and you get six. I mean, so things are coming fast and furious. What was Rio is a different type of Olympic course because most of the time it's a looped bike course and not much climbing. That one had a huge hill in there. What did you come away with from your first Olympic experience?
Well, yeah, that was just over the moon with that result. I definitely did not expect to come sixth at the Olympics and be even very close to the medals there.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that at that point, I wouldn't say I was lucky because I put myself in the position, but I was definitely benefiting from the brownies being super dominant and like a Brownlee scenario where we had a breakaway with 12 people. And then I just had one of the faster runs from that breakaway. So yeah, I was in the right place in the right time, and then obviously I had the perfect day as well. But yeah, that's I think how I ended sixth. But that was really where I started thinking like, wow, I can do this. Like I can be top in this sport.
Absolutely. When you get six, it's like, okay, why can't I be in a podium? We're only talking a few seconds between spots here. So after 2016, the goal becomes obviously to go to Tokyo. And you had some solid seasons in there and 17, 18, but the hard part is for a lot of folks, if the Olympics had been in 2020, I'm guessing you would have been, you were coming off a lot of racing in 19. If the Olympics had not been delayed, was that delay help you or hurt you?
Well, I think that's a hard question, but actually in 2020, I was injured because I crashed with my bike. So that
That's
would
right.
obviously not have been good. But on the other hand, I think that 2021 did give some other young athletes one more year to get stronger. So I think that in 2020, guys like Alexi or Hayden would probably not have,
Mm.
well, maybe they would have been on the podium, but they were definitely stronger in 21 than they were. So I think it's a bit yeah, like it's hard to say, but I think that 2021 was the season that I have been the strongest in up until now. So yeah, I think that was on the right time. I was ready. But
Well, yeah, that 2021, you had back-to-back wins at the Arena Games in London and Rotterdam. And actually, when I looked at watching the video of the 2020 games, or 2021 games, it's Yee and Wild and Christian Blumenfeld. And I wonder if the games were a year earlier, do we see Christian up there? Right. I think that year could have helped him a lot.
yeah, probably as well, because especially with the training style that the Norwegians have, like having a year with not much racing definitely benefits them because they're probably one of the athletes with the strongest mindset and like the strongest will to train hard even through a difficult period. I think that some other athletes probably struggled more with that 1 year period where you didn't have races, but I think that guys like Christian, and actually I would count myself in that those people as well, because I just really love training, and I think that really benefited the people that did well after COVID.
Yeah, because you think about it, you didn't have travel, you didn't have recovery. You basically could put in long blocks of solid training and get better. I think a lot of the times we've seen over the last few years are a result of people having so much quality time to train during COVID and taking the sport and their own games to another level.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. I think that there many people like left off their barriers, kind of maybe the things that they thought were possible. Like even just by you saw a lot of people doing different kind of challenges, like triathletes running track races, or like
Yep.
people, even just people like riding the longest distance they could. And I think that these things maybe kind of teach your brain that like you can do more than you think sometimes. And yeah, it was definitely an interesting period.
So when you come away, when you get sixth in 2016, you're ecstatic because you surprise yourself. But once you're sixth, you think I could be on the podium. And in 2021, you're one spot off the podium. You're like Hayden was 1:45.24, you're 1:45.52. So I think it was like 48 seconds separating the top four. So you were right there. Did you come away still feeling like, hey, okay, I'm right there, or did you come away disappointed?
Yeah, it's a very mixed feeling that I have there, because yeah, obviously becoming fourth is very disappointing. Like, I mean, after the race, I got interviewed, and I was crying. So
Yeah.
obviously you put everything in it for so many years. Like I mentioned the injury I had in 2020, like all these times that you push through and then you just fall short of your goal. But then I think if, now that I have some more time to look back at it, I actually am more feeling proud of what I did there, because from the start of my career, I've been called like a bad runner. And like even when I started out around the 2010s, when I was just starting to do my first good races, the federation wouldn't support me because they're like, yeah, no, this guy, he can't run, so he's never going to be anything on short distance. To come from being that guy that everyone doubted to becoming fourth in pretty much a running race,
Yes.
that's definitely something I'm proud of. Like if there would have been a Brownlee scenario, if we could have had a breakaway, like I would have definitely been higher up. And yeah, so I think that in the end, I'm very proud of the progress I've made throughout the years, and to end fourth in with the run, like beating a lot of really, really strong runners. That's actually makes me more proud than disappointed.
The one thing that surprised me from that race was Christian making that move. It's so hot out there, making that move with like a K to go. I mean, that was like part of it. People must be thinking, okay, I think he's going too early. He's going too early. Is he going to be able to hold on for this? So it's a toughie when someone makes a move like that. And do you go with them? Do you sit back? Well, what was going through
Yeah,
your head?
Christian is a very difficult one to like kind of see how he's doing, because usually from 200 meters into the race, he's breathing like super hard and
Yes.
loud. You think like, oh, he's gonna break soon, but then he keeps being there. He keeps being there, and yeah, like when he put in that acceleration, it was just he just mentally broke everyone. Everyone was on their limit. Like everyone was just fading. Everyone was happy to just still be there, and all of a sudden he just throws in like an acceleration of going 3 kilometers an hour faster with still a mile to go. So like that was pretty, yeah, I think everybody mentally just gave up. That was definitely the good move to make.
So for you, when I look at 2023 and I see the Bahrain race that you just won with a 3:31 or 1:10 off the bike, and is it pronounced Fortaleza? Fortaleza. You win there as well. Do you feel that you're that transition from Olympics after Paris, that you'll move full time into 70.3 and potentially a full down the line?
Yeah, for sure. I think that we've mentioned my triathlon upbringing. So I've
Yeah.
been inspired by Frederik van Lierde a lot, and by Marc especially. And for me, I've always maybe even had more love for the long distance than for the short distance. So yeah, I feel like maybe I'm more of a long course athlete doing short
Yes.
course
Yes.
than the other way around almost. So yeah, definitely looking forward to do more of that in the future.
That'll be great. So this next year leading into the Olympics, do you have to go and get points? Do you have to qualify to get there? Are you already in? What is every country is so different. What is the setup for Belgium?
Yeah, so I actually still have to qualify, because we had to do 2 top 8s in a World Series, which I've done 2 9th places. Yeah, I've had 2 very bad seasons actually, with a big ankle injury, which had me not run for 6 months. So it hasn't been my best 2 seasons. So yeah, I still have to chase the qualification a little bit, but I also don't want to chase it too much, because then I think you're already putting yourself in a bad position for the Olympics themselves.
Right.
So yeah, for now, I would have the Belgian spot. Like we have 2 spots. One guy is qualified, and then I would have the second spot. But obviously, I will have to still fight a little bit for it as well.
So when you're dealing with the ankle injury, broken scapula, bruised ribs, and the clock is ticking, and you need to get points, how frustrating is that? To just the fact that you know what your talent is, you know how good you can be, but when you have to be patient and wait and not train and not race, like you said, your guy likes to train. It must have been very difficult for you not to be able to do what you love.
Yeah, that was very difficult, especially the ankle injury, because I've never in my career had to take 6 months off running. And like I mentioned before, the running is still my working point and like a bit my insecurity, even though I got it to a really high level already. But to miss out on that after having such a good 21 season, to kind of feel like I'm not making the progress that I wanted because of the ankle injury, was very, very tough. And yeah, I have to say that even now, I don't think I'm at the level of 21 yet. And I've definitely doubted that at some points during this period, like is my peak gone, basically? Because I mean, I'm definitely not old, but like you don't have that many years as well. As a triathlete, you luckily have quite a lot of years, but you see guys coming up now like Sam Laidlow, like some other guys who are 23, 24 years old. So
Yes.
I'm actually 7 years older than them. So I don't have that much time either. So it was very frustrating, and I had a lot of difficult periods in the last 2 years.
So you mentioned Frederik van Lierde, the 2013 Ironman world champion. So he's your boss?
Yeah, so I'm in the as a sports athlete in Belgium. We have a project that you can be a sports athlete in the army for Belgian
Yes.
defense. And after his retirement, um, he became the boss of this project, basically. So yeah, we have a lot of contact now. So it's actually fun to work with him. Like he's as well been like always a big inspiration for me. So. I think that he's also kind of looking forward to see me step to more long distance as well in the future. So that's pretty cool.
And so now you've qualified, right, for 70.3 Worlds in Taupo next year. I'm guessing. Then did those races, did those qualify you for Taupo? Your win in win in Bahrain and Fortaleza?
Yeah, I actually took the slot in Fortaleza. So in Bahrain, I gave it to someone else.
Yes.
You can't block someone. I didn't know that, but no, yeah. So I'm qualified now. That was definitely a goal to have, so that you can't qualify anymore for World 70.3 after the Olympics. So it's definitely good to have that out of the way and
Yes.
not have to think about that in the coming half year.
So your training group, I've chat a lot with David McNamee. He's always a lot of fun to chat with. Who are you training with there in Girona when you're home?
Well, actually, I changed training groups like about last year. I still train also sometimes with the guys from my old training group. So yeah, with David McNamee, like that was with Vincent Lewis, with Jelle Gaines, like under the guide of Joe Filial. But I changed. Well, actually, it's 2 years ago now. To a Belgian coach who is also based in Girona. So it's really the mecca of triathlon there. We have more up and coming athletes. And one of them is like Charles Paquet. He's probably going to make Olympics for Canada. this year, and then a couple younger Belgian guys,
Yes.
an Italian, like from all over the place. But I needed that change, and I think that it's been working quite well, even though I haven't been able to show too much because of the injury.
So what do you look at in your career as your best race? Not necessarily, it doesn't even have to be your winning a race. It's a race that maybe meant the most to you, told you I can be one of the best, the most important, sort of the important result that you got.
I think that maybe the Dubai race then that I did in beginning of 22, which
World record, right?
yeah. So I didn't really expect that. I mean, I knew that my times and my watts were very, very good on the trainings the months before. And I was actually training a lot with Aaron Royal around that time. And he actually kind of jokingly, somewhere under a post of me, said, this guy's going to break the world record in Dubai. Like before the race, because I did like a really good training that weekend. But like that really showed me that long distance, maybe I hope I have a even brighter future than in the short distance on the long distance, but I'll definitely have to fill in all those promises still. But that race I think was my best performance yet.
So when we talk about Taupo, you think we might see Marc Herremans racing there?
I don't think he will be racing, but
you think he'll come to watch you race?
Yeah, I hope he'll be cheering on the side. So actually, that triathlon team that I said before that we made when we were 15 years old consists of 4 people, and actually another guy of that team is also going to be in Taupo and in Hawaii actually, because he had a really good season as well, and he qualified for both Taupo and Hawaii. So yeah, like Mark is definitely his heart is still a lot with that team. It actually still exists as well.
Yes.
And I hope he'll be cheering on the sideline, because I think that will definitely give me an extra boost.
Is the full something you want to do, or do you want, because at this point it's so cool with PTO and with 70.3 and challenge, you can really make a living and not go and do a full Ironman. But is that something that you want to do?
Well, for sure, it's something that I want to discover. Like you say, I think that I also really like the competitive aspect of racing, which PTO really ups that game for long distance now, because before there was maybe 1 or 2 competitive races per year.
Yeah.
Where everyone would show up. With PTO now, there is like almost weekly, no, not weekly maybe, but monthly a race where all the long distance guys of the highest level show up. But I definitely want to give the full distance a shot as well. So it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to.
And you've been a fixture on the Super League scene as well. And those races, just I remember interviewing Christian Blumenfeld in Malibu, and he said, what's good about those races, it forces me to work on the things I'm not great at, on transitions, acceleration, things like that. You find that the Super League helps you in the other races you do?
Yeah, definitely. Like I think it's the ultimate short distance. Sometimes changing multiple times from the sports, so your transitions get a lot more important. Like you learn how to really focus on the small details, and sometimes in a short course race or even in a long course race, you kind of forget how important those details are, because if you can save 15 or 20 seconds in a half Ironman in the transition, it's 3 seconds, like you get it for free. You don't have to do much for it. Like,
yes,
just really visualize like exactly what you have to do in the transition, be quick about it. And like those seconds are super important. And that's what you really learn with Super League. You learn how to like utilize every single moment of a race to the 100%.
Will you be able to do any of the PTO races this summer, or will it be all Olympics?
I don't know yet, but I don't think I would say no. Like I would
Yes.
definitely consider it. Probably not in the 6 to 8 weeks leading up to the Olympics. I would definitely
No.
not do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I really hope to get onto the PTO scene, and we will see when that is. I'm not sure. I'm looking forward to when they announce like the 2024 plans, and
Yes.
I hope there's a lot of possibilities after the games to fit a lot of things in. But yeah, it's definitely exciting. I think all triathletes are really looking forward to the announcements that are going to come.
I love it. And did you say that Marc Herremans' birthday is tomorrow?
His party is tomorrow. So
Oh,
his birthday was 3 days ago. It was on the 19th of December, and tomorrow night he's throwing a party. So I'm in Belgium, so I'm gonna go there. I'm looking forward to that. Like Mark has always been a really good triathlete, but he's also good at throwing a party. So looking forward to that.
well, please give him my best. Is he turning 50?
Yeah, 50. Yeah.
Oh my God. He's old.
Yeah, I'll tell him that. I'll tell him
Tell him
that.
that. Tell him that a guy who's got a lot more age on him is telling us he's old. He's an old guy.
He will love it.
Is he still fit?
Yeah, he's still very fit. He's still like probably doing 4 hours of activity every single day. Yeah, it's incredible.
He's a legend. Hey,
Yeah.
Martin, thank you so much for taking time. Such a pleasure to get to spend time with you. And I look forward to watching your season and then watching you come over. We'll probably be in Taupo and hang out with you guys there. Hopefully you and Mark.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Marten Van Riel has been our guest again, everybody. Breakfast with Bob, our Not Quite Kona edition. We'll check you guys out next time. Have a great holiday. Thanks, everybody. Bye.